In this lecture, we are going to learn about Angular routing, and for that, we need an external library, the Angular root. We will search Angular root, and yes, I got the result for Angular root. And in the Angular root, I'm going to use in my file script src, and I'm going to give the link of the Angular root file. I didn't import this time, I just copy the link and use it in my file. That's also a one way to use external libraries. And in this example, I have created the top header with the menu. Currently I have only a one page with the header, and the body contain the details of the users of iPhone. And I have make this application as x18. In the script file also I have declared the module as 18, and in the controller I have used the previous we used the iphone.json with the http service to retrieve these details. And now we will see how we are going to use this Angular routing. If you are going to use any other Angular libraries like this Angular root, we need to inject that the sub Angular libraries into main Angular library. We will do that in the script file. For this Angular root, we will inject as ng-root. Okay, now we inject the Angular root into main Angular script, and now we are going to write this the application configuration in the root things we are right inside of the application configuration. For that we use app.config, and inside of that configuration I'm going to write function, and in the function I need to use the root provider. Root provider is a directive of the ng-root, and the root provider is having few methods. The one is root provider dot when, and I need to give a name for a when dot header, and if you click header, I need to out the template URL. I'll call this template URL as header.html, and if you hit this header, this root provider when becomes header, it will load this template URL, and we will see how this one is going to run later. And the next step is, if you are using Angular root, we need to use ngview. That's the place the root is redirect to. Before that, we will create this header.html as a subfile, header.html, and we will put this table data inside of this. I'll put that from the controller inside of this header HTML. I'll cut and paste here, and in this area I'm going to display this new the routing file, and I'm going to use div, and the Angular has built-in directive called ngview, that's actually using to the place the redirected file. We will see how this one is working, and we almost finished 90% of this Angular root. First we import the Angular root file. After that we inject this Angular root into our main script file, and after that I have written app.config using the root provider. The app.config, this root provider becomes slash header. This template URL header.html is to return, and in the index.html I'll write slash header into href, and we will see, run it and see how it's working. We will click this header. Yes, header clicks, and this header.html details is loaded to this ng view, and I think you understood the process. We import the Angular root, and in the our application module we inject this Angular root using ng root. After that I have write a configuration using root provider. Root provider becomes header, then the template URL is assigned to this ng view. That's how it's work. We will add some more samples and see. Now we add another header item called about us, and see, I have copied the li, and I'll change this one as about us, and I'm going to change the href also as about us, and we will see how we are going to change this app.js and root provider.when this slash header, and this time I am going to write for a root provider dot when, and this time it will be about us. If you click this about us, it will go to the template URL called about us .html. I'm going to create this about us HTML here, and yes, I have created a HTML file about us, and I'm going to insert some h3 tag here. This just saying this is my about us, and yes, we create the about us link, and when you hit this template URL is returned, and we'll go to index.html. Yes, about us, I'll hit this about us and see what's happened. I'll hit header, the header loads about, and I hit about us, nothing happens. I'll go to the about about us, and nothing happens. About us.html. I think it's loading, but it covers from the header. I'll put some style here and see margin top, and I'll put 100 px margin in the top, and we'll click about us and see. It's not working. We will check the errors and see what's it's saying inside of the error. App 18 is not available. App 18, and this is app 18, and there may be some error inside of this one, and see. Yes, about us, and we will clear the errors and see. I think there's no error. This details is not showing because of this header. We will put more. I have put just margin top 100. We will put 200 and see, and we'll click about us. Yes, 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 it works without any issue. About us, and when I hit header, it goes to the header file, and when I click about us, yes, about us is loaded. You see there's no header part or footer part is changed. Just change the mid of this index, this only this part. When you hit this something header, this header.html is added to here. When you hit about us, this about us.html is added to here. Now you see how the Angular root is working. And another thing I need to explain, just a simple thing. If you find that any issue that you cannot see running this application in the Chrome, just go to more tools and developer tools. In the console area you can see all the errors and warning messages, and according to those errors and warning messages you can fix the application. Right, okay, I think you understood the Angular root. We will talk about the more features of this root in next two lectures.